How did the Mormon Church become so big in 200 years? They are worth $265 billion. I believe the Catholic Church, a global organization, is still the largest landowner in Europe, not to mention the buildings and art, which have a value that's beyond measure. I don't think 73B sounds reasonable. It sounds way too low to me. The answer is surprisingly simple. If you are a Mormon and you don't pay your tithing, you cannot get your temple recommend. If you cannot get your temple recommend, you cannot go to the temple to do the work that is required to get into the celestial kingdom, highest tier of Mormon heaven. There are 3 tiers. There are other qualifiers for getting a temple recommend, but essentially if your tithing is not in good standing with the church, you cannot get into the celestial kingdom. There are also several members of the church who have founded or owned large companies that help fuel that growth. The church also holds stock in several companies. It's essentially a tax-free private equity vehicle. Yeah, sure, only 73B for the Catholic Church. I'm sure that's the case. Mormonism isn't just a religion, it's an all-encompassing lifestyle and worldview. It's your parents, your siblings, your children, your future, your past, your joy, your sorrow, your sex life, your weekdays and weekends, and your underwear. And Mormonism is your money. When I was a Mormon, I personally gave tens of thousands to the church in the same way that others give tens of thousands in taxes without even thinking about it. It's just what you do because you live in America and you're a Mormon. The Mormon Church is on a path toward $1 trillion in assets. It's like a machine that won't stop. It's a pretty fascinating case study in human psychology. Ex-Mormon here, I'd say it's 3 things. 1. Mormons are much more active about recruiting than other religions. Who else sends members around the world knocking on doors? 2. All members are required to pay 10 of their income. It's a really big deal in the church to be a full tithe payer. 3. The church is led by pretty smart people, and they invest well. Last I checked a while ago, TBF, all of the top church leaders have PhDs in business-related fields. Jesus Saves Moroni invests. I read a very dull work called Who Owns the World? Well, I read part of it, it was very dull. Number 1 on the list was the Queen of England. Through various legal fiction she technically owned England, Canada, Australia and a few other places. I guess that's gone to Chucky now, but as I say, it's a bit legal fiction. Everyone respects as long as they don't try to do anything with it. Number 2 is the Catholic Church. And it's no fooling, actually own the title deeds ownership. I suspect 73 billion is a significant undercounting of their wealth. Edit. Formatting. I'd where you're getting 73B from. When I lived in Rome I was told that the Vatican itself was worth 40B, and that's without really knowing what's in the Vatican vaults. I could very well be wrong though. The Catholic Church has a lot more than 70B in assets through their various holdings. Vatican City alone is worth more than that without even including the famed storage vaults. Plus they are far more consequential in world politics than Mormon could ever hope for. That kind of power is unmatched by any other global institution. Ex-Mormon here, I think there are a few reasons for this that I'm not quite sure of, but I do know one, and that is you are strongly pressured to pay tithing 10 of your income every week. My single mom, who worked something like 3 jobs at once to keep us afloat, would feel guilty sometimes that she couldn't pay tithing. They also have owned several companies. Google Mormon-owned companies. Cults are really good about getting cash from their marks. Make the people work and ban them from anything fun. And own all the documentation of everyone's family tree. They require members to give 10 of their income. In order to get into heaven you have to go to the temple regularly. And if you don't pay the 10 you aren't allowed to go inside the temple, so most members pay that 10. They have a massive investment firm called Ensign Peak Advisors that manages a stock portfolio worth $165 billion. They use the tithing money people donate to buy stocks, land, real estate. They also don't have to pay taxes on any of this money, so that helps to grow the fortune even more. The Catholic Church is worth way more than that. Their artwork alone is priceless. The Vatican City alone is worth more than that. It is big with respect to money. It is irrelevant with respect to its dwindling membership outside of Utah. It is a business disguised as a religion, and they are pretty good at it. Time to start collecting taxes from those greedy, dishonest assholes. It's a business and they do it well. And their temples are gorgeous.